And welcome back to CG Rated Books. How are you guys doing today? I am doing something, I'm doing my first wrap up video. I have not been on BookTube for a full year yet, not yet, but I've at least been through the end of a year. And I thought that it would be pretty doggone cool. I am going to turn this thing off. I apologize for that. I don't know what I was thinking. I've got a desktop computer that makes a lot of noise, does a lot of thinking, so I want to cut that off. But I have not done a year in review before, so we're going to do one for the first time. And I thought that was pretty cool, that I actually have material to share with you guys. I play with my face a lot, don't I? Very little edits because I have taken way too much time in putting up new material. So we are going to kind of print these things up and try to get some more things going for you guys. Good solid content though, but I put things on hold. I think, oh yeah, I want to edit this, ooh, and I want to do this, and then I spend all this time trying to learn how to do all these neat little tricks, and then I don't put the videos out because I haven't perfected. And it's not really about perfection, it's about me sharing something that I love to do, and things that I do out of habit. That makes great for conversation pieces. So bear with me if this is not very detailed. It won't be very animated. Except me, of course. I'm animated. Yeah, we all love that, right? So just a few things, and not to make the video too long, but let's cover what we did in 2024. So I started the channel in June, I believe, and so halfway through the year, I'd already been reading very lightly. But I'd already been reading. So there was a lot of things that I had read prior to starting the channel that I haven't even covered on the channel yet. And trying to catch up has been very difficult. So let's get right into it. What I am going to do is I'm going to slide over just a little bit. And I'm going to use this section right here to show you my list. First thing first, every single author that I have read, every author, not every book. I know most folks like to do the book deal, right? And every book that I read in 2024. Now, every author that I read in 2024, and I'm going to have it scroll right here and go from there. So a couple of facts about what I read. So a total of 24 authors, 24 of them, and a total of 31 books from these 24 authors. Now that's all inclusive. That's every book that I could remember. I didn't do a very good job of tracking books, and I'm pretty sure there might be a book or two in there that is missing. But it's pretty awesome enough for me to say I read 31 books. 31 books. Me. Yes. 31. But over the span of 24 authors. So let's talk about those titles a little bit. Just some. Okay, so the genres, I guess. What did I read most of? And probably in this order. This is not all that I read, but most of what I read, and in this order: murder mystery, historical fiction, graphic novels. I'm going to put them in their own separate category because even the graphic novels are in their, they have genres, but I'm going to put graphic novels in their own category. And then dystopian, post-apocalyptic, after World War, pandemic type stuff. So dystopian. Don't have exact numbers. I didn't calculate exact numbers, but I did go through my list of titles and saw that they fell into these categories. Now there was, it wasn't a murder mystery, but there was. Of course, we got The Call of the Wild. I did read that. It was a reread, but I'm counting it as a read because it was almost like reading it for the first time again. I did see the movie. I don't normally do that, but Disney made a movie. And I guess the only real reason why is because it was Harrison Ford, and I like Harrison Ford. And I saw the trailer for it before actually seeing the actual show, and I said, you know what, it might be worthy of it. But I found out that after I went back and read the book again afterwards, just how small things, there was a lot of little things that they changed in the movie that really threw the movie out for me. It really kind of, and it was kind of frustrating because I think I did like the movie, but the movie was, author's rendition. The directors and the producers get in there and they make some adjustments, and yeah, okay. But then there was a couple of them, and I don't even know where to. So Call of Wild is a adventure, right? Is that considered adventure? How do you judge? That's what I really wish that the book genres were a more distinct class, so that you can know where the books fall. But Western. So Western, adventure, what else? And that's about it. Everything else falls into those categories. So murder mystery, historical fiction, graphic novels, and dystopian genre. Total of 9 graphic novels. Grimoire Noir being number 1, being the best, right? Verse, book 1 and 2, I counted them separately. Anya's Ghost, Blackwater, Over My Dead Body, The Girl Who Owned a City, Grand Theft Horse, and Graceland. And let's talk about books I most disliked. Only Pretty Damn was one of them. These aren't the worst books ever. This is the worst, not worst. This is the most disliked books from 2024. So Only Pretty Damn, that was done by Niall Howell. The story itself was actually pretty good. It was the writing and the fact that the theme behind the book. There are some trigger warnings for this book. This story should have never happened. There's no real reason. It is. Was it a murder? No, it's not. It's not a murder mystery. More like a murder planning. So, yeah, there was no, who did it? There was no mystery involved in it at all. It's a murder story, but it's no mystery involved. And then, of course, Under the Radar. Under the Radar is a vigilante story. No murder involved in that one either. That was a vigilante. So what do you call that? When a group of individuals goes after a cult. That's the whole story. It was written very terribly. High reviews. It was highly regarded as a great book. And lots of trigger warnings in this one as well too, because of the theme of the cult going on. But the vigilantes themselves are criminals. They're just criminals, and they lashed out. They're idiots, first of all. I'm not sure. There was also no purpose for this story as well, because they could have resolved the issue being vigilantes more successfully in a completely different environment. It's just, the book was just such a letdown. So yeah, I'm gonna use those two books as the most disliked. Only Pretty Dams by Niall Howell and Under the Radar by Fern Michaels. And it's kind of funny because she's there's a lot of people that like Fern Michaels. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So books most enjoyed. Of course, we're going to put up the graphic novel Grimoire Noir. I think that was the only 5-star rating book that I gave a 5-star rating to. That's the only 5-star. I don't normally give out 5 stars. It's kind of hard to get a 5-star out of me. And yeah, that's a 5-star rating. And then Missing You by Harlan Coben. I enjoyed it. Not a 5-star rating. 3.8 to 4.2. Very good. The writing style is what really did it for me. It kept me engaged. I read it rather quickly, and I looked forward to getting back to it when I had to put it down. So I read out of hobby, out of enjoyment, out of entertainment, and so I don't normally I can't pick up a book and read it and finish it and put it down. I have to. It takes me a couple of days. But in between my regular life, I read the book. So yes, and that was a really good. Now they've just released a limited series, a mini series on Netflix. Netflix, right? I think it's Netflix because he has quite a few of them on Netflix. And I've seen Harlan. I didn't know why the name was familiar with me when I got the book. I got the book randomly. I didn't go find it, and it just randomly. I think it was either the free library or when I did that the bookstore challenge. And then so I haven't watched. I've watched a couple of his shows. But they were movies. They weren't series. They weren't mini series. They weren't limited series. He had a couple of movie adaptations. Didn't realize that was him. I enjoyed the movie, and of course they've got some few no name actors, low name actors. Yeah, and then of course The Call of the Wild by Jack London. I have the short story compressed or condensed version, but for some reason that would be considered a 5-star rating. The book is so much better than the movie. So what else? I guess that's really all I really want to say. I didn't want to get in here and get too elaborate about just a quick review. I'm actually rather surprised that I actually got through 31 books this year or last year, and that was huge. Here's one. Here's a category: same author, multiple titles. So I mentioned that I read 20. I read 31 books, but only 24 different authors, and that's because I had authors that I read multiple prints from, multiple titles. And Jeanne DuPrau was one of them. I read the Book of Ember series. It's a saga, 4 books, and I don't mind trilogies and sagas. I don't like, and it's kind of funny because I'm going to step up. And Julian Stockwin has this Thomas A. Kidd series, and it's like 20 some odd books in that series. And I am going to collect that series and read the series. So that's going to be like the longest series I've ever read. But currently, that goes to Jeanne DuPrau. and the Book of Ember. There was 4 books in that title, or in that category, in that group. Excuse me, pardon me. And the books were all tied into each other. They were not standalones. And then the other, I got 2 same author, multiple title. The other one is Natalie D. Richards. I've read 3 of her different titles. She is a YA author. I'm not much into YA, but she was recommended to me, actually. And I believe every single one of her books were all library finds. I think the next time I do this, I will break down where I got the books from as well, because I want to put emphasis on the reading experience. So where I got the book from might be of some interest to folks. But yes, 3 titles. 4 Found Dead was the very first one that I read, which is a very interesting title because of the way that it was written. It almost seemed, I don't know if this is based off of a true story, but it felt like it was based off of a true story, the way that it was written. And then 5 Total Strangers, and then 5 Dirty Secrets. Now, she has a lot of titles, and yes, the books began to get better with each different one that I read. I plan on returning to her titles simply because they were decent books to read. They ranged anywhere between 2.5. No, actually, I ranged them anywhere between 3 and 3.8. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. What else should I include in my 2024 wrap ups? I haven't, my yearly wrap ups. I've never done one. I plan on being around for a while, so I plan on, I can start building the information now and start looking at what I want to gather this information. I don't want to have to do all the research at the last minute, right? But thank you for joining me, and I really do hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and hope that you come back and watch more. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. And until then, y'all keep reading.